Okay, guys, welcome to review of the Rise of the Shield Hero Season 4, Episode 6. Last week was a very defining moment for Fall and Atla. Understanding where they came from, doing this for their father and their parents' sake. They have come a long way since Season 3. And then, after all the drama, all the action we had last week, every episode of Rise of the Shield Hero has always been a 10 out of 10 show. Never once I stated this was bad episode. No, a bad episode. This was a good episode. And then now that we got this out the way, now we got the Foal and Atlas arc coming to a conclusion. We're now jumping shifts to the Q10 Low. Yes, Raphtalia's hometown. That explains why we got new visual art in Raphtalia in her kimono outfit. Now, the stage is set. The stage is set. The tides are coming in. We are now entering this arc, Raphtalia's hometown. The true empress of the Q10 Low, Raphtalia. Now, when it comes to a new arc, there is new problems. New waves are kicking into overdrive. But this is the only way to start off the opening arc with the Q10 Low arc of Raphtalia's hometown and see where this is actually going through. So, without further ado, let's get right to it, the review of the show. Okay, now, we're covering episode 6, and I gotta say, let's start off with Trash. Not King, Trash. Season 1 of the Rise of the Shield Hero, I remember covering this show. I hated bitch ass mine. And I hate the king. Now, throughout season 1, the king had a reason for disliking the shield, and I was happy. That Naofumi was able to finish it off, but no. So I'm glad that Naofumi stripped his title, and now they call him Trash from now on, which is a good title, by the way. Good title. But now, there's always a twist. Now, there's always a twist, some kind of a plot twist and some kind of scheming ways. Because if you watch season 3, you saw how the king, you saw how Trash was. When he saw Fallen Atla and asked him, has the Shield Hero done anything to them? And they said no. So now it's what does Trash have with Fallen Atla? Well, the truth is, that's Fallen Atla's uncle. Apparently, Fallen Atla are the children of Lucia, which is Trash's sister. So if you guys know, if you break it down a bit, that's Fallen Atla's mother. The mother, yeah, and then you look at this, that was his, and her brother was Trash. So that's why Fallen Atla are giving Trash some food and all that stuff, just to remember what her sister made. Okay, mother/sister. You guys what I'm saying. But they decided to keep it a secret, because think about it. If we go back to season 1, and Naofumi was to kill Trash, it would have changed the course of history. It would have changed Fallen Atla's life, maybe even going after the Shield Hero. So, I'm not saying we should forgive Trash. I'm not saying we should. But seeing Trash there is the reason why he should not be dead. Do I want him dead? Not really. I stopped caring about him since season 1. But now, Fallen Atla, we have to keep Trash alive. I know it sounds stupid, but we have to keep Trash alive because Fallen Atla is there. And remember, that's their uncle. So they're not going to kill us. So you can't kill off their uncle. So that's why I'm let him live. Let Trash live. You can kill off mine. You can kill bitch ass mine. You can fucking kill her. I don't give a fuck. But keep Trash. That's all. So now, this episode 6, we're going to the Q10 Low. Now, to do that, is protected by water dragons. So we have to gather up some cast members. We have to gather up some people from season 1, 2, and 3. Basically bring the season 3 cast all over again. So who's going to the Q10 Low? Let's see. Well, first off, Sedina's going. We need somebody for water battles. Gaelion, the dragon, the red the big red dragon is coming. Of course, having him around his land protected by a water dragon, and then we have Gaelion there, so it's best to be there for him. The Black Merchant from season 1 definitely coming because he has a master from the Q10 and going over there will be the great thing. Plus, having a Black Merchant on your side, I emphasize the word Black Merchant, the Black Merchant on your team could easily make your weapons better. Now, who else is going? Of course, Raptalia is going. Now, let's talk about the Three Stooges for a bit. Ren. Ren is staying. Ren is staying to protect the village. I know Ren has been a dick since season 1. Didn't really care about people like that. But, having that curse on him, what he did was wrong. He kind of stepped up. In fact, he stepped up so much that everybody in the village likes Ren to a point where he's very, very protective now. And everybody likes Ren. So Ren is staying to protect the village. Now, Itsuki and Risha, after Itsuki's stupidest thing he ever done by siding with mine, he stepped up too. Him and Risa and Itsuki are working together, and Itsuki acknowledged Risa's hard work. So they're both going. They're both going with Nafumi and his crew. Another person that's also going on is also the twins, Atla and Foal. Of course they're going. And Philo and Raph, season 3 casts. Now, as for the stupidest, dumbest motherfucker, the Spear Hero, really? The Spear Hero? Screw that guy. He's just, I think he's so thick in the head that he don't know what's going on. That every time these furry assassins come and try and attack the village, here come the Spear Hero just stopping them. Okay, yeah, but he's out there just being like a vigilante. He just, I think because ever since season 3, he's been a loose head. He lost his party and all that stuff, but he's been a loose head ever since. So this guy just going all over the place, just killing off these fairy ninja assassins for who cares what. But let's give him, I give credit where credit is due. He's actually protecting the village from outsiders, so guaranteed it, that's fine. Okay, so now that we got the whole some cast of season 3 coming to the prey, we're now setting sail to the Q10 and you really can't have an arc without some fights. So first off, Philo. Well, let me go, actually, before I go to that one, let me talk about Keel. You guys know Keel? Keel, yeah. Keel's a girl. Surprisingly, Keel's a girl. Just like Turkey. One of the episodes from Turkey, which I'm gonna cover later afternoon, by the way, seeing Keel in her maid outfit, just bringing up the fact, I like how Nafumi eyes just rolled up dollar signs. You may not see his look, but when he's like this, he's bringing dollar signs. That is money right there. Having Keel in the maid outfit brings a lot of money. Okay, now back to what I'm saying. The Q10 you can't have the Q10 without without a fight. Philo doing that Titanic reference. You guys know the Titanic reference, right? Remember how they did Jack and it was like and Jack and Rose. There you go, Titanic. When they're on the edge, when they're on the front of the ship, and they're doing that cross, like I can fly, that kind of thing. That's what it was. And yeah, it brings bad luck. Have you seen a Titanic? That's bad luck. So, and again, you see the other twin brothers puking, and she's having a good time. Everyone's having a good time. But like I said, you can't have an arc without a fight. And the fights was epic. Of course, ships, it's like looking at the Pirates of the Caribbean. You got 2 ships colliding, and they're gonna cross paths and fight. And they put out all the stops. There were teamwork after teamwork. Itsuki's doing something. Risha and Itsuki's teamwork is doing good. the merchant was fighting, the dragon, Gaelion was fighting, Sedina, Raftalia. The entire cast was fighting, especially little Raffchild, the little raccoon, especially the little Raff. That was so freaking cute that little Raffchild was putting on the show too, fighting. It was really epic. And you gotta give Naofumi credit for putting the shield on all the bandits before they had to do your smoke bombs and stop them. But let's all listen. Naofumi has come a long way. He's showing a lot of great leadership throughout the entire season, ever since season 1. He's showing great leadership, great teamwork. He's showing a lot of that. You gotta give props for his leadership. He has developed quite well. And just when things get a little crazy, here come a giant ass whirlpool, and that whirlpool sucks up Gaelion, Sedina, Raftalia, and Naofumi to a point where it's from the water dragon protected them, and it tells us that this barrier is protecting all around it. So it's like basically they have to break the barrier by the former four heavenly warriors to break that barrier. So they have to go inside and break that barrier from that curses and whatnot. But it's great that we got this, because at the end we see the water dragon giving them their uniforms, their new outfits, and welcome to the land of the Q10 And that scene where Raftalia said, "This is where my mother and father grew up." That's right, everybody. You have to remember, Raftalia is the true empress of this town. And she will be a fine empress, by the way. I mean, come on. Even the new visual art showed us that we see Raftalia in her kimono outfit. So we're going to see that as well. But again, I'm glad that all 4 of them is now in the land of Q10. Hopefully the remaining people on the ship are going to head there as well. But overall, though, this was an amazing episode. I mean, we got to the Fowls arc, to knowing the truth about why Trash is alive and their relationship with them. Not only that, now that we got the returning cast season 3, and now we in the land of the Q10, you gotta give props where credit is. You gotta give props for this one. And the fight scenes were so freaking amazing. You cannot this is why I love Rising the Shield Hero. They give us moments like this. I always say this. You got to be patient, because there's always going to be a big fight scene and everything go around. And we got it. So we in it now. Like I said, the beginning was the Q10 arc introduction. Now we're into the arc of the Q10. We're going to see more about this and Raftalia's backstory and her mom and her dad, just like Outland Foles. I can't wait to see. So thank you for watching my review of this show. I look forward for next week's episode. Well, I'll probably cover it because, Anime NYC is next week. So get ready for my anime hot takes as well. So stay tuned.